U.S. laws on self-defense, gun control, and racism need revamping. This is according to the country's attorney general. Thousands of Americans have rallied across the country in the past few days ever since the acquittal of George Zimmerman, a Florida neighborhood watch volunteer who had killed a black teenager by the name of Trayvon Martin last year. Now, it was ruled to be self-defense, even though Trayvon was unarmed. Well, let's discuss the verdict now with Florida attorney Randy Reep. Sir, welcome to the program. As an attorney, your view on the verdict here. Was it justified?
In U.S. jurisprudence, the way our law works, if the jury comes back with that verdict, the jury must be right because they're the ones who's charged with determining that.
And sir, I mean, I'm curious. Of course, this is an emotional case. It has, as we mentioned, stirred rallies all across the country. What is the role of race within this case, from your point of view?
Plays a role in the public opinion view of it. I'm a criminal defense practitioner, so in that regard, and I watched the case closely, I don't think it played out at all. Now, is it a legitimate discussion that follows about race relations in the United States here in 2013? I think that's an equally valid point.
Well, at the same time, I mean, look, if you look at the system, granted, perhaps this case wasn't necessarily the proper forum where to have this discussion. But still, if you look at the legal system in the U.S. overall, you have more men from young black men from the ages of 18 and 28 going to prison than college. What does that say from your perspective about the legal system in the U.S.?
Well, again, I'm an officer of the court, and I have a lot of faith and a lot of pride in our criminal justice system. But you're absolutely right. The statistics bear out exactly what you're saying. Far too disproportionate of minority races go to prison. It's also true if you look at that from an economic standpoint. The poor are disproportionately represented in our prisons.
And I do apologize for our viewers. I think we're having some sound difficulties here. But I do also want to ask, we did hear that the Justice Department may be pursuing civil rights charges against Mr. Zimmerman. On what grounds and how likely, in your view, are those to succeed?
I think it is very unlikely that they would bring forward federal civil rights charges against Mr. Zimmerman, because what that would essentially mean is that it would be a hate crime. They haven't been able to prove yet that it was a crime against Mr. Zimmerman, and to add in the additional element that it was race initiated would make that case almost impossible to prove.
And I'm also curious, the U.S. Attorney General had mentioned that he wants a deeper debate, as you had said, on self-defense, gun control, and racism laws. Do you believe that any change in federal or state laws could follow as a fallout, essentially, from this case?
I absolutely think, and candidly, as a father, I hope that a debate happens and that we have rational gun control laws follow. This isn't the only case that involves firearms that is a tragedy in modern U.S. history. Unfortunately, there are far too many of them. So if we could have an additional debate about that, that's good for everybody.
Certainly more debate in order. Thank you so much, Florida attorney Randy Reep. Thank you for that.